For 30 years, Phil Mickelson was one of the most recognizable faces in professional golf. In 2026, for the first time in his career, he will miss all four major championships in a single year. The Masters Tournament, the PGA Championship, the US Open, and now the Open Championship, all four absent from his schedule. He has played exactly one competitive event all year, Live Golf South Africa in March, where he finished 48th out of 57 players. The official explanation given by his camp has been a private family health matter. But over the past several weeks, a very different set of stories has surfaced, involving three private golf clubs, a formal investigation, and the first named accuser to speak publicly against him. The unraveling became public on June 11, 2026, when Golf Digest reported that Phil Mickelson was no longer a member of the Farms Golf Club in Rancho Santa Fe, California, a course located near his childhood home and one where he had trained for decades. According to the report, Mickelson approached a female employee at the clubhouse earlier that spring and made what sources described as non-consensual and inappropriate physical contact. The employee rejected the advance and reported the incident to her supervisors immediately. Club officials reviewed the matter, then confronted Mickelson directly while he was mid-round on the course. He was asked to leave the property and did so before completing his round. The San Diego County Sheriff's Office confirmed it investigated the allegation, but stated it found no evidence that an assault had occurred. A spokesperson for Mickelson initially responded to Golf Digest with a brief statement. Any misunderstanding has been cleared up. Phil continues to attend to a family health matter and is uncertain when he will be able to return to professional golf. Mickelson's attorney, Tom Clare, later confirmed to the Associated Press that Mickelson had resigned his membership. The Farms Golf Club subsequently removed the display honoring Mickelson that had stood in its clubhouse for years, alongside displays for other notable members such as Xander Schauffele and Michael Jordan. 2 weeks later, the story expanded considerably. On June 26, 2026, the golf publication Scratch published an investigation by journalist Alan Shipnuck titled Phil Mickelson's Long History of Misconduct. The piece was built on interviews with 19 sources and alleged that the Farms Golf Club incident was not an isolated event, but part of a longer pattern involving 2 additional clubs. According to the report, Mickelson's membership at the Madison Club in La Quinta, California, ended in 2021 under circumstances different from what had previously been assumed. A senior member of the club's management team told Shipnuck that the departure was not a formal expulsion, but a direct demand. It was more of a demand by Amy, the club official said, referring to Mickelson's wife, Amy Mickelson. We got a call from their wealth management firm. We need Phil's place sold. Gone. Right now. Phil will no longer be a member at the Madison Club. The report connects this departure to allegations that Mickelson had been regularly having a woman who was not his wife stay overnight in his clubhouse condominium. The investigation also detailed a second club departure from the Bridges in Rancho Santa Fe, California. According to a club member cited in the report, Mickelson allegedly paid a young employee in the pro shop $500 to drive his phone around the golf course for several hours at a time. The stated purpose was to create the appearance, through phone location tracking, that Mickelson was playing golf on the course while he was elsewhere. The report also included an account from an anonymous woman who told Shipnuck that Mickelson made explicit and graphic propositions toward her during a dinner with other people present, despite attempts by those around them to change the subject. The most significant element of the Scratch investigation was the decision by Ashley Perez, the former wife of professional golfer Pat Perez, to speak publicly and on the record. She became the first named accuser in the reporting. According to Perez, the incident took place during the 2015 Barclays Championship at Plainfield Country Club in Edison, New Jersey, where she and Pat Perez were staying as guests at a villa Mickelson had rented near Liberty National Golf Club. Perez told Shipnuck that one evening, while the three of them were drinking wine on the property's patio, Pat Perez briefly excused himself to use the restroom. In that window, Perez says Mickelson showed her an explicit photograph of himself on his phone and made a direct proposition. Phil says to me, "I'm going to leave my bedroom door open tonight. When Pat falls asleep, I want you to come see me," Perez told Shipnuck. Perez said she did not tell her husband what had happened until after the tournament concluded, explaining her hesitation at the time. "We were staying next door to Phil, and Pat still had to play in the tournament. I didn't want it to get messy." Pat Perez did not confront Mickelson directly in the moment, but the story circulated among players on the PGA Tour over the following years. In 2022, Pat Perez referenced the incident publicly for the first time on the podcast Son of a Butch with Claude Harmon, without naming the specifics. "I have a different hate for Phil than most people," he said. "Phil crossed the line with me that is just uncrossable and unforgivable. He knows that he screwed up. He apologized for the action, but I cannot forgive him for it." According to the Scratch Report, Mickelson apologized to Pat Perez on more than one occasion, including during a recorded phone call that Ashley Perez shared with Shipnuck as corroboration. Pat Perez and Ashley Perez divorced in 2023. Following the publication of the Scratch investigation, Ashley Perez addressed the public response she received. On June 28, 2026, she posted a message on her Instagram stories that did not name Mickelson directly. "I will rise up and stand next to the millions of women who have been silenced to protect the evil and darkness that lurks amongst us," she wrote. "Thank you dearly for all of the love and support. My heart goes out to the countless other victims." In the Scratch interview itself, Perez also reflected on the years leading up to the alleged incident, during which she says Mickelson would regularly send her friendly text messages after she married Pat Perez in 2014. Looking back, she described that period differently than she had understood it at the time, telling Shipnuck it now felt, in retrospect, consistent with grooming behavior. Mickelson's legal team responded to the growing coverage across multiple statements throughout June and July 2026. Regarding the Golf Digest reporting on the Farms Golf Club, attorney Tom Clare called the coverage reckless, stating that a segment of golf media had decided that, because Mickelson is a successful athlete, every detail of his private life was open to exploitation. Regarding the Scratch investigation specifically, a spokesperson issued a statement on July 2, 2026, describing the piece as an anonymously sourced drive-by shooting, heavy on implication but unsupported by any on-the-record sources. That statement directly disputed the central premise of the club departure reporting. Mr. Mickelson has never been expelled from a golf club. His membership has never been revoked by a golf club. Those decisions were his alone. On the specific allegation from Ashley Perez, the statement took a narrower position, saying their account of the 2015 incident missed key detail and characterizing it as a misunderstanding for which Mickelson had already apologized. Notably, the statement did not deny that the core event took place. In a broader statement addressing the cumulative allegations, Mickelson's spokesperson said, "Some of the allegations circulating about Mr. Mickelson are false, and others revisit mistakes he has already acknowledged, publicly or privately. Stacking the disputed claims next to the ones he has owned does not make them credible." The statement did not specify which allegations fell into which category. Throughout this period, Amy Mickelson has not issued any statement in her own voice. Every public comment attributed to her position has come through her husband's spokesperson. On July 1, 2026, that spokesperson issued a statement describing her continued support. "Recovery is not a straight line," the statement read. Throughout their 35-year relationship, his wife Amy Mickelson has supported Mr. Mickelson and their family with extraordinary grace, unwavering love, and the belief that people are measured not only by their failures, but by what they do to make them right. The statement went on to describe Mickelson's current priority as becoming the husband, father, and man his family deserves, while asking that the family's private matters remain private. The statement does not address the Scratch Report's claim that Amy Mickelson was directly involved in ending his Madison Club membership, nor does it confirm or deny any change in the couple's marital status. Phil Mickelson and Amy Mickelson married in 1996 and have 3 children together, Amanda, Sophia, and Evan. The current controversies arrive against the backdrop of a career that once made Phil Mickelson one of the sport's most bankable figures. He won 6 major championships and became the oldest player in history to win a major when he captured the 2021 PGA Championship at age 50. In 2022, he became the central recruiter and public face behind the launch of Live Golf, the Saudi-funded breakaway tour, and later joined an antitrust lawsuit against the PGA Tour. That same year, comments he made describing the league's Saudi financial backers drew significant sponsorship fallout. Mickelson's history includes other publicized controversies. In 2016, he was named a relief defendant in an insider trading case connected to professional gambler Billy Walters, agreeing to repay nearly $1 million in trading profits without facing criminal charges. Walters was later sentenced to 5 years in prison in connection with the case. In a 2023 memoir, Walters alleged that Mickelson had wagered more than $1 billion over roughly 3 decades, including a claim that Walters talked him out of betting on the 2012 Ryder Cup while Mickelson was competing in it. Mickelson has publicly acknowledged a gambling addiction, stating he sought treatment and has taken responsibility for the behavior. Adding further uncertainty to his competitive future, the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia is reported to be ending its financial backing of LIV Golf after the conclusion of this season. As it stands, no formal separation or divorce filing between Phil Mickelson and Amy Mickelson has been confirmed. The public statements from his team describe ongoing support rather than any change in their marital status. His timeline for returning to competitive golf remains unspecified in every statement issued this year. What is confirmed is a sequence of documented events across a matter of weeks. A club departure investigated by local law enforcement, a 19-source investigative report naming 2 additional clubs, a named accuser going on record for the first time, and a series of carefully worded statements from his legal team that dispute some claims while declining to specify which ones.